Peace and Yah bless. This is Yeremiah ben Israel, servant of Yah, the Holy One of Israel, strong one of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Alright, I come to you today to discuss Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. For it was mentioned on the last session by Yahuda that I did not respond to his interpretation of Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. So I'm here to do that now. I didn't do it in the past simply because the way the situation was handled was totally unacceptable, and I will not engage in that type of dialect going back and forth over the internet between the servant and the Most High. All right, so I bring this to you now. That way, there's no confusion about Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. And then after I, discuss this, you go read it for yourself and do your own research, read, study, pray. All right, that the Most High will bring the illumination to you in bringing out the truth of the whole matter. All right, so like I said, I start here in Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. Okay, how, just to explain a little bit of the situation that's taking place here. And this is when Moses, Miriam, and Aaron, okay, are discussing the matter of him taking the Ethiopian woman to wife. And Miriam was chiding with him. And during that conversation, they were talking about who Yah speaks to, as you can see here, and who Yah doesn't speak to. All right, who Yah speaks to and how Yah communicates. So Yah came to them, all right, and Yah spoke with them. And this is what he said. And he said, "Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, Yah, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak unto him in a dream." Okay, self-explanatory. That's the word of Yah. Okay, now the way this was interpreted by Yahuda, he's saying that it's not a prophecy from the Most High if Yah doesn't speak unto you. Okay, and he stressed that word speak. Now, as I may mention in the last session that I did in October 2016, I came across the precepts concerning this chapter and verse, and I discussed them. And one of the precepts that I discussed was the situation with Yahosef when he prophesied as a young boy, and also, the dreams that Yah brought forth to the baker and the butler who were locked up with him in prison, also with Pharaoh. Okay, as well as the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, which was a prophetic dream. And a prophetic dream is a dream that foretells the future, okay, of what will take place before it happens. Okay, that's what a prophetic dream was, and that's what Yahosef had as a young boy. You can go back to Genesis, I believe it's chapter 37 or 38. Can't remember off the top of my head now, but you just go there and you do your own reading, and when you look at that, you will see that Yah did not speak unto Yahosef at all in the dream that he had, which was a prophetic dream telling the future. Okay, it was a dream that was telling what Yah was going to do before he did it, excuse me. Okay. So that's the situation with that. Also, what was done here, and the reason why we came to a disagreement on this is because basically he's saying that dream don't belong here, and he should put the word spirit here. Well, there is no difference between vision and spirit because everything is Yah's spirit. Okay, everything. Okay, anytime a prophet gets a vision, that's the spirit of Yah upon him, and while he's seeing that vision, that's the spirit of Yah. Okay, as you can see with Ezekiel, all right, when Yah took him up in the spirit and showed him the visions of what was being done in the temple in Jerusalem, how the priests were worshiping idols and images, in which what they thought was behind closed doors. But that was Yah's spirit, all right, taking Ezekiel up in the vision. Also with the dreams, okay, that's Yah's spirit also, because when a person is dreaming a prophetic dream, Yah's spirit is in the dream, okay, and the dream is telling the future. Okay, as you can see throughout the book, where Yahweh as a young boy, all right, when Yah came to him in a dream, he didn't speak, okay, but it was a form of communication between Yah and Yahweh, all right, by Yah's spirit to let Yahweh know what was going to take place in the latter days, all right, and that's why Yahweh was so eager to run and tell his brothers, all right, because the spirit of Yah was in the dream. Also with Pharaoh during the days of Yahweh. And if you understand the book, the situation with Pharaoh and Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, is very similar. But when they had that prophetic dream, okay, their spirit was troubled. Why? Because the spirit of Yah was in the dream. And that's why, you know, especially with Nebuchadnezzar, okay, he wasn't able to shake the dream which he saw. Okay, it troubled him. Okay, to the point where he was going to kill up all the wise men of Babylon because they couldn't interpret it for him. All right, so Yah's spirit was in the dream. So visions, dreams, is all Yah's spirit. There's no distinction between the two. Everything is Yah's spirit. Whether it come in a vision or it come in a dream, everything is Yah's spirit. Now, also, because I'm going to go through a precept which Yahudah discussed concerning Saul, I'm going to deal with that. And also I'm going to deal with the precept he put forth concerning Balaam. But to focus on this a little bit more, okay, even if you agree to disagree about the vision, dream, the spirit thing, okay, no matter how you interpret how Yah communicates to a prophet, the thing is, like it talks about in Isaiah chapter 55, if the Most High speaks through you, he puts his words in your mouth to speak, all right, in his name, all right, anything that the Most High speaks through that servant will not and will never return unto him void. Okay, so if the Most High working through his spirit to prophesy through you, and that prophecy doesn't come to pass exactly the way it was put forth through your mouth, then it's not from the Most High. And that's where Deuteronomy chapter 18 comes in. And let me flip over there real quick. Specifically dealing with verse 22. All right. And it says, when Yah speaks, it says, when a prophet, speaks in the name of Yah, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yah have not spoken. But the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him. Okay? When he speaks in the name of Yah. So when you say that the Most High has come to you through the Spirit to speak about us being out of here before September 2016, then you're speaking in the name of Yah. And if you read this book from Genesis to Malachi, you will know that the Most High takes prophesying in his name very, very seriously. That's why this law, if it's broken, is punishable by death. All right. If the thing follow not. Now, can anyone disagree that the prophecy did not come to pass? All right. If it doesn't come to pass, that is the thing which Yah have not spoken, but the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Okay. So I don't understand how people can get around that law and people not dealing with that law when Yahudah continues to prophesy in the name of the Most High concerning the timeline. All right. So with that, let me deal with the precepts real quick. I'm going to go to 1 Samuel chapter 10. I'm going to deal with that first before I deal with the Balaam situation. All right. 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 6 and 7. Now, in this situation, okay, because he uses this as basically as his way of justifying him prophesying without a vision or without a prophetic dream. And in this situation with Saul, Saul was not raised up to be a prophet. Okay, in this situation, Samuel is prophesying to Saul to let Saul know what was going to happen. okay, before it happened, to give you Saul strength in the Most High, okay? And we're going to explain that because you can't just read verse 6 and just say, oh, yeah, that means Yah prophesies the Spirit, that gives you an excuse to prophesy without a vision, all right? But you also got to read the line below, and that's telling you why this took place. Okay, so if you privy to the situation what happened with Saul, Saul was raised up by Yah, and Samuel was prophesying, all right, to Saul of all these things that was about to happen. And one of the things that he told him that was when he come amongst this company of prophets, that Yah was going to put the Spirit on him to start prophesying amongst the prophets, which is highly unusual for someone just the Spirit to jump on them and just to prophesy. That's why when this took place, the prophets and the people that were nearby were saying, they was asking a question saying, is Saul among the prophets? Because this was unusual circumstances. And this was a sign, which we're going to deal with. So let me read. It says, and the Spirit of Yah will come upon you. This is Samuel talking to Saul, what was about to take place. And you shall prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man, or given another heart. And let it be, when these signs are come upon you, that you do as occasion serve thee, for Yah is with you, or thee. All right, and that's the reason for this taking place, is for Saul to see and to witness Yah's strength and his power. That way he would know that Yah is with him. This was a sign to Saul, and that's the only reason why this took place. And I'm going to go to another precept that wasn't mentioned, that's in the book that I'm going to talk about when it reads like this. Yah put the Spirit on him to prophesy. Okay? Just like you read with the situation with Moses, okay, when the Most High turned that staff into a serpent, something that wasn't usual, or the situation with, Gideon, when, Gideon placed the cloth on the ground. If those of you who know the story in the book of Judges, and the Most High, he calls it the rain, and the rest of the earth was damp, but the cloth was fully dry. Okay, same situation with Hezekiah, when the Most High turned the sun back 10 degrees. These are signs that the Most High gives his servants so they can know that Yah is with them, or everything that Yah said he was going to do, he's going to accomplish it. That's the only reason why this took place. This is not an excuse to prophesy and say the Most High worked his Spirit through you to say such things, especially if they don't come to pass. Because like I mentioned before, if it doesn't come to pass, it's not from Yah. Nothing returns unto him void. If he speaks to you to say a certain thing, then it has to happen exactly the way he put it forth. Okay? Now let me go to the other precept. Like I said, I'm under time constraints because of the devices that I'm using. So, 1 Samuel chapter 19 also. This is, as you can see, this is talking about the situation when Saul's, his men, they were pursuing after David. Okay? It tells you here when, David fled, and it tells you where he was at. And Saul sent messages to take Dawid. And when they saw the company of the prophets prophesying and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the Spirit of Yah was upon the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied. Okay? So, why did that take place? To distract them. So David could flee. Or David could continue to pursue on his, because every night David was on the move. Okay? And obviously they had to be closing in on him. That's why Yah distracted them and made them prophesy in an instant amongst the prophets. So this is no excuse to prophesy without a vision or a prophetic dream, which, he clearly disagrees with, but that's fine. Disagreements are fine. I have no problem with that. But it's how disagreements are handled. And those of you who are observing this situation, okay, this is not how you handle disagreements among servants. You do not use the Power Talk Room as a platform to rant, especially on Yah's holy Sabbath day. It's a day of peace. And what took place, okay, in the Sabbath on the Sabbath, in the Power Talk room. The session that followed after my session I did in October, I think it was the November session that he did, was nothing peaceful about that at all. Okay? And just to show you, all right, how, this person's holding a grudge, is that we talked twice before that session got played that he did in November. And the first conversation we had was right after the session that I did in October. And in that conversation, there was some going back and forth. It wasn't brutal like the one sister tried to put it, that the one sister put forth, okay, bearing false witness, because it was nothing brutal about the conversation. We were just discussing the book and why I did the session the way I did it. And like I told him in the session, it had nothing to do with going around him. It had nothing to try to, go through him and do something on my own or nothing like that. And I explained to him that, and most of you can bear witness to this, that I do a session every Feast of Tabernacles. Most of you who've been following this movement for a while know that. Okay, and he even mentioned in his session prior to mine, he even made reference that I might do a session because he understood. And I don't care how he tried to play play ignorant to this. He understands that I do a session every Feast of Tabernacles going over the law. And the session that I did was a 2-part session. I was going to do the first part was on the 15th, which I did, and then the second part was on the 22nd. Now, it makes no sense for me to have to call him and tell him that I'm going to do something that he already knows. Okay, that's why I didn't call him. Okay, and just for you to observe this on your own, those who's listening, if I was trying to go around him, I would have never told Yedita, okay, who operates the Power Talk room, who tells Yahuda everything. Everything. So if I were trying to go around him, why would I tell Yedita, who tells him everything? I know this, been knowing this for years. Why would I tell her that I'm going to do a session if I had intentions to hide it or be spiteful or I had my own agenda? So you observe that for yourself, those who's listening. And she can bear witness to that. Because I told her in the middle of the week that I was going to do a session. It was going to be a 2-part session. I thought about just doing the whole thing on the 22nd. But I said, you know what? I'm going to do one, part of the session on the first day of Feast of Tabernacles. And then I'm going to finish it up on a solemn assembly. And I text her to inform her that I was going to do that, in which he also mentioned on his session that I told her, okay, because I was going to do it live. Usually when I do a session, I pre-record it and send the flash drive to her via mail. Okay, but I was letting her know that it was going to be a live session. Okay, and I did that to magnify the law of the Most High. And all I did was talk about the law. So it was no reason to call what I did folly, because it was nothing that I did that was folly. It was about the law, and I backed the law up with precepts. Go in and take a listen to it for yourself. Okay? I did not turn the people away from the law. Now, if I did that, then I could understand the rant and the taking of my number down off the website, which I recently heard him say on the last session he just did in January that, and he mentioned that, asking why didn't I call him to ask why my number was taken down. Well, that makes no sense for me to call you to ask you why the number was taken down, okay? If you would have handled that situation maturely and like a person of, a servant of the Most High supposed to, you should have called me and told me or, informed me that you were going to make that decision to take my number down, okay? Because the things that were put up on the website, I did that out of my heart. Because all I desire is to serve the Most High. Okay, and you can try to put it forth as much as you want to the people, like I don't serve the Most High, and try to make it seem like I got my own agenda. But I've been dealing with you for years. Okay, and not once have I ever given you any thought or any reason to think that I have my own agenda to do a session or go around you. That's total inaccurate information that's spread to the people. I serve Yah. I do not serve man. Everything I do is for the Most High. And if the Most High had the session that I did come out, then he wanted it to come out. It had nothing to do with me or what was in my heart, something wicked in my heart to do. My desire was to serve the Most High and to bring his law out in truth. Just because you don't agree with it don't make it true. Okay? So, also the conversation that we had, we came to a mutual agreement in that conversation. And two sisters can bear witness to this. He said out of his own mouth, he asked me a question. He said, from this point on, or from now on, before you do a session, you're going to call me, right? And I said, yes. Right there means that's a mutual agreement, a verbal contract between me and Yahuda, how things were going to be handled from that point on. So the situation should have been done with. We came to a peaceful agreement on how it was going to be handled, so it should have been over and done with. So when I called him the second time, I'm calling him to bring forth some information about the Palestinians. Okay? And I can tell by the way he answered the phone that, it sounded like he didn't even want to talk. Okay, but he comes out to the people and tell the people that I called him with a discombobulated spirit. That's totally inaccurate information. Because when I called him, it wasn't even to deal with the session that I did anymore. It was find some information about the Palestinians. But he brung that session back up. And you can tell he holding a grudge. He told the people that he already knew I was going to say that, which is total nonsense because, like I said, I didn't even intend to talk about that session that I did when I called him the second time. But just to show you how he still was upset at what I did, when we were discussing the matter about Numbers chapter 12, he said he had information in the book, but he refused to tell me. Now, if two servants are dealing with a matter in the book, okay, and we have the books open, each one of us, or both of us are going through our precepts to state our case, then we supposed to deal with the book. Go to your precepts, I go to my precepts, and then, like I said, y'all will bring it out through one of us. But to say that I'm not going to tell you, to withhold information like that when two people are having a study session, because that's what I call it when you're dealing with the book, a study session. Okay? If you're having a study session and someone refuses to give you information that they see in the book, who wouldn't think that they're holding a grudge? So you analyze that for those who's listening. And then when he did the session that followed up, he could have just simply dealt with the way he saw Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. He didn't have to go and tell the whole world what I said and going back and forth about he said this, he said that, being a talebearer, which is forbidden in the law. That's not how things are done. Okay, we keep discussing it and we don't come to an agreement, fine. You can explain it the way you see it. Let the people analyze for themselves. There's nothing wrong with hearing something from another point of view. Just because you don't agree with that point of view doesn't mean that that person is committing folly. Because it's not about you, not about me. It's not about any man. It's about Yah. And all I care about is serving him and getting his truth out. Okay? And, it's in my mind that Yah had me call you again after the first time we talked, after, when we came to a mutual agreement. Why? So you can purge that revenge tactic out of your heart, because that's what it seemed like to me. After the session was done and we talked on the phone, it's like you already had it in your mind what you was going to talk about and how you was going to rant, and the Most High gave you some time so you wouldn't do that, because you're not supposed to be on that Pal Talk room ranting and carrying on for 8 hours, being a talebearer on Yah's holy Sabbath day. That's a holy convocation. Okay? So, that's the situation with that. We had plenty of time to discuss it before you did the session. And to me, when somebody ends a conversation off with peace, brother, Yah bless, then that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be peace. What you did following the conversation that we had was not peaceful at all. Okay? And you taking my number down was strange. Because like I said, I put a lot of time and dedication into that website and putting up all them laws. And I did it out of my own heart. Okay? So, for you, all right, just to take my number down without even discussing it with me before you made that move? Because like I said, I talk to people all over the world. Okay, people, throughout the, United States and the islands, you know what I'm saying? People call. So for you to make a move that major, okay, it is strange for you not to call me and he's telling me, hey, little brother, such and such, this is the reason why I'm taking your number down. I'm just to, let you, I'm going, just to inform you that, just my number and your Adidas number is going to be up here from now on. Okay, cool. All right. But after a while, the Most High gave me the understanding on why my number was taken down, because it's all from him. There's no reason for me to call and ask why. It's from the Most High. Okay? And after reading the information that's put up about the Ezekiel 16 prophecy, now I understood why y'all had my number removed. Because y'all doesn't deal with falsehood. And it's a lot of speculation, and there's no hardcore facts about the information that's put up about the Ezekiel chapter 16 prophecy when you go to the website and look at it. It's a lot of holes in that. It's a lot of think, feeling, accepting. Not enough facts. So now I understand why my number was removed. But I don't understand why it was handled the way it was handled. That's why I said it was strange, because anybody, in your position should definitely inform another servant of the Most High before he makes a move like that. Like, you just got on me for not informing you for doing a session, but you turn around and do the same thing. Not inform me, not the council, before you made that move. Sound like a contradiction. Just like this situation between you and David Ben Israel. It sound like a contradiction, because the session that I was going to do in response to David Ben Israel, that, you know what I'm talking about, the session that never got played. All right, which is fine, and I agree with that, and that was great counsel from you. Okay, because there wasn't no need to go back and forth with David Ben Israel. Okay, we didn't already dealt with it, but what confuses me is, why aren't you following your own counsel? Why are you still spending hours upon hours on these sessions dealing with David Ben Israel? That is not the time and place to do that. Do that on your own time. Yah's Sabbath day is a day of peace, a day of learning, a day of magnifying his laws and making it honorable in the sight of the nations. Okay? And to bring forth the understanding of the prophecies that's already been put forth by the servants, the prophets. It's not to prophesy something new. Okay, when it says declare new things, that just means declaring the prophecies, bringing the information out about the prophecies that have not yet taken place yet. Yah's working through, his servants to be able to see the prophecies that's already been written, and to bring it out to the world, to declare the things that have not yet happened. That's what it means by declaring new things. Not to prophesy something new. And to deal with that, first let me go to Numbers chapter 24, dealing with Balaam. Okay. And we're going to deal with verse 15 and 16. And it says, now this is the situation, because it was mentioned on your last session. I listened to it. Okay, and the brother by the name of El-Ir, peace unto you, brother. And, he was doing his reading like everybody was supposed to do, and he brought this out. He brought this to your attention. I have no problem with that. Don't agree, but that's fine. We all servants of the Most High. It's not going to always be everything. Is not going to be, agreed upon. Excuse me. But I commend this brother for doing his research. So peace to you. But this talks about Balaam, and it was mentioned that Balaam, the last prophecy that he put forth, that the Most High didn't come to him in a vision, that he just spoke to him by the Spirit. Well, we're going to discuss that now. Okay. Now it says, and he took up his parable, Balaam, and said, Balaam the son of Beor have said, and the man whose eyes are open have said, he have said, which heard the words of Yah, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which okay, through the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. Why is it saying this? Because it was a vision from the Most High. Every time the Most High came to Balaam, it was a vision. Okay? And him falling into a trance just to let you know that that's the Most High's spirit. The spirit is upon him to see the vision, just like with Daniel. The Most High's spirit was so strong upon Daniel, those of you who understand the book, he fell to his knees and laid on the ground. The spirit is overwhelming in these visions and dreams. That's why Nebuchadnezzar was going crazy. Okay? But Yah came to him in a vision which he saw. Alright? And that's, he was prophesying about the star of Jacob, and he was talking about Amalek. Remember Amalek? Okay? Not remember, but took up this parable saying, he was first in the nation, but he shall perish forever. So, the Most High was communicating to Balaam through visions. And that's the protocol. That's how things have been going on in this book. You can't just take one precept with Saul and try to justify the fact that you can prophesy without Yah revealing his mind to you clearly. Because I can guarantee you that Ezekiel chapter 16 prophecy, just think about this for a second. If it was a time frame that went along with that prophecy in Ezekiel chapter 16, then the Most High would have revealed it to Ezekiel. The Most High does not give half the prophecy to no one. Anybody reading this book can confirm that. Isaiah, Jeremiah, okay, Daniel, Ezekiel, Hosea, Malachi, Micah, Joel, all got the prophecy till its full extent. There's nothing hidden when Yah communicates a prophecy to a servant. Whether you claim it's a spirit, vision, dreams, you're giving the full prophecy. Yah does not withhold information from you. If he's doing that, then he has deceived you. And you using the Ezekiel 16, 59 verse saying Yah's going to deal with us the way that we dealt with him. Well, that already has taken place. And this whipping that Yah has put on us will make us know never to boast ourselves again. Never to turn away from the Most High. Never to get haughty. This whipping, this curse that he puts on us. That's what makes us understand that we can never put ourselves above the Most High again. Not by being deceived. Okay? So